My next guest is no stranger to the Tampa Bay music scene. In fact, many refer to her as the Tampa Jazz matriarch. I'm talking about the one and only Belinda Womack. Thank you so much. So happy that you joined us today, and you look absolutely stunning
Thank you,
in that
Michael. It
dress.
is so much fun being here.
Yes, ma'am. So I have to be honest. I had questions planned. I read your bio. I knew your history. And then my spirit was telling me no.
Oh,
My spirit told me, what is it, when I read over the things that you are most passionate about, the thing that stuck out to me was you're passionate about your faith and you're passionate about speaking about injustices and things that going on in our country. And we're at the height of those things today. So I want to really utilize this time to really speak about the things that are most pressing on your heart,
okay.
because everyone in Tampa and across the world knows Belinda Womack and the music that you've put out in the airways. So between faith and injustice, which would you say is the most pressing thing on your heart today?
Well, if it weren't for my faith, I probably couldn't stand the injustice. But for 50 years now, I graduated high school 50 years ago, last month. And we talked a little bit about that at our Zoom meeting, a Zoom reunion.
You know all about that
Oh,
now.
yeah, we had our Zoom 50th anniversary reunion. And we talked a little bit about that because we find ourselves in the same position we were in 50 years ago, the protests and what have you. And we talked about what's gotten us through thus far. And I remember back then in Augusta, Georgia, having been a part of all of that, we can see the progress. And the progress has come because there's been faith aligned through all of that. There's been prayers going on. There's been people lifting each other up and encouraging each other to look beyond what you see every day that you wake up and look out. There's a world of people out there, and they're not going to be like us. And so we have to realize that, number one, if you've got faith in the Lord and the Lord is guiding you, He's not going to guide you to hate people. He's going to guide you to love people, and He's also going to guide you to fix what's wrong. And we've lived a lot with injustice here in the United States. It's now time to stop just being a part of what's going on and be a part of the solution of what needs to happen.
Right. And being a part of that solution, God has blessed you with a tremendous gift. And I know that you're a tremendous jazz singer, but you also combine jazz with gospel, and you put your passion in your music. And I would be remiss if I didn't ask you to bless our audience with just a little something to brighten our viewers' day.
Okay.
Would you be
I'd be honored.
willing?
I'd be honored.
Oh, man. Well, take it away, Miss Belinda Womack.
First of all, I don't own the rights to the song, but it's a beautiful song that I'm borrowing today. God will bring forth change. Nothing stays the same. God will bring forth change. Nothing stays the same. The young becomes the old, and mysteries do unfold. But that's the test of time. Everything will change. There are not many things in our lives we can be sure of, except God is on our side. He'll provide the way, and you and I will see a better day. God is on our side. He will make a way, and you and I will be a part of a better day. Everything must change.
Miss Belinda, before I let you go, you have a new album out, Catching It.
Yes, it's coming out.
Coming out.
Yes, hopefully by November.
All right, where did you get the name? And tell us all about it.
Catching It comes from my childhood. My grandmother used to stand around singing all the time. She had the most beautiful voice. Her name is Rosalie. And she would look at us, there were three of us, my sister, my brother, and me, Vernell, Clarence, and me. And we all could sing, been singing out of the womb. And she would say, I'm going to start this song and y'all catch it.
Everybody better be on note.
You better be on note. You know your part, stay in your space, stay in your lane. And then my mother had a thing where she would play the piano. She said, I'm going to play this and you catch it. And that was just the thing,
That was the thing.
at our household. So the songs that I will put out will be jazz and gospel, blend of the both. Yeah. And the subtitle of that is It's Me.
It's me. It's you. It's you. It's me. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
And we are going to be jamming to Catching It, hopefully in
Yes.
November.
November, but some of it will start coming out on my website. It's brand new.
What's the website?
It's MzBTampa.com. It's MZBTampa.com. They started calling me Ms. B, and it just stuck.
It just flows. Yeah. You know what? Because you got swag, Miss B. You got swag, baby. You got swag. Well, thank you so much. We'll be tuning in to Catching It. So, Miss Belinda, I would love to kind of ask you a few questions.
Okay.
Now, I'd have to warn you in advance. It may put you in an uncomfortable position to make a choice, but I promise you it's all in love and in good fun.
Okay.
All right, so keep your fingers crossed and work with me here.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Choose between the two. Ella Fitzgerald or Billie Holiday?
Ella Fitzgerald.
Oh. Louis Armstrong or Nat King Cole?
Nat King Cole.
Nat King Cole. All right. Here's a tough one for you. Sammy Davis Jr. or Frank Sinatra?
Oh, that's not hard.
Not hard?
Oh, Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra. I like it. All right, here we go. A little pressure on this one. Michael Jackson or Prince?
Child, Prince.
Prince? Oh, it was easy.
I love Michael Jackson, but
with a snap.
Prince.
Prince, baby. Yes. Purple Rain.
Purple Rain.
Purple Rain. Sweet or salty?
Salty, unfortunately.
Salty. Mm-hmm. Saxophone or piano?
Piano.
Piano. You know how to twiddle those fingers?
I try.
You try a little bit. And my last question. If you're familiar with any modern day artist, is there an artist out here today that reminds you of artists of old?
Yeah, and it's kind of off the grid, actually, and that's Queen Latifah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Expand upon that.
Well,
I love the Queen, by the way.
She does, she was in Chicago, right? And so she did some of the old crooning, and she's done some of the old style crooners songs of jazz. Yes. That girl brings it. Yes. She makes you feel it right there, and that's what it's about.
Queen Latifah is so talented.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your presence here. I want to also give you an opportunity. We've spoke about your faith, and many people here in the city know where you worship. At Crossover and some other churches as well that you've done in the past. And what is life like now in terms of performing live? We are in the face of COVID, and it seems like industries, TV and musical performance industries have kind of shut down. How are you continuing your goals to be an influence in music?
Well, thank God for social media because that has really been an avenue that we can still voice our opinion as well as sing our hearts. And I've used that a lot. I work with Metropolitan Ministries. I'm on the spiritual formation team there with Reverend Beth and the group. And I get to sing or preach every week. And that has been a blessing because I tell you, I've needed that. I've needed it. And sometimes I'm inspired and I will get an opportunity to just bring up my Facebook page and just start singing. You know, of course, that also comes with my dialogue if you want to hear it. But I have no problem voicing my opinion about what's going on because I've been a part of this now, you know, for all my life.
Right. I have to ask, you know, growing up in Georgia, I have to assume that you had to face some type of injustice growing up. And, you know, I read where you started off singing at 11 years old with your uncle. If you had to take us back to one of those, you know, dark moments or experiences that you'll never forget that you were able to learn from.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've had quite a few things happen racially, from being the person chosen for the job because I was black and a woman and I filled 2 quotas, right? But I want to take you to a time when some of you may be familiar with, and that's 1970s, early 1970s, where my band and I show up in Alabama, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, to do a gig that had been booked. We had a wonderful agent that booked us all over the country. And when we got there, we were told we could not stay because there were too many black people in the group. And I was leader of the band, so he didn't like having to deal with me because I was a woman and being a black woman at that. It was not a good thing. But this guy was fair. He paid us all our salaries that we were going to make for that time and gave us extra so we can. They just wanted us out of Alabama.
Really? Probably for your own safety.
Yeah, well, for our safety and for the safety of his club. He didn't want people coming, tearing down his club because he had one too many black people in the club.
Wow.
Yeah.
Looking back at those times, how you know, young people who don't know their histories take a lot of things for granted. But you've experienced that. Does it bring tears to your eyes? Because a lot of people would say, we're not moving forward, or we have a long ways to go. But if you've lived the battles, you would have a different perspective to say, we have come a long way and we are in a great place today. Just speak on the fact that you can walk into an establishment and be looked at as an equal the majority of the times. How does that feel to you?
I've walked in places and was told that the colored people had to go around the back. You know, I couldn't get a hot dog at the local 10 cents, the 5 and 10 cent store that they used to call it. But I remember the sit-ins that we did, and I remember standing up to the nonsense of racism. And we didn't have to burn down a building to do it. We didn't have to loot and tear up anything. What hurts my heart, first of all, what makes me so happy, that makes me just scream, yes, Lord, is our young people are getting it right. The majority of them are. They're protesting, but they're doing it the right way so their voices can be heard. You cannot be heard if you're making a ruckus or tearing up stuff. And you cannot be heard if you choose to cuss your way through it. Right. You know, I even turn you off because, you know, what can you say? String a sentence along that's going to show that I want to be a part of this movement. And I tell you what, these kids have done it. These young people have done it, and I'm very proud of them. What hurts my heart is when I see some wanting to resort to violence, just stealing. They're opportunists. They're not protesters, they're opportunists. But these young people are starting to call those young people out, and some older people too. I've seen people my age coming out stores with boxes of stuff, you know? Right. And I'm thinking, we need to make a better point than that. And the point is, we want to change. Things have changed dramatically since I was a young girl in the protests of Augusta, Georgia. But we have a long way to go. And to get there, we need people that are going to stand up and stand in for injustice and do it in a way that our voices can be heard. Don't ever give the opposition an opportunity to call you anything but brilliant. Yes. You know?
And that's what we have.
Yeah. And that's what we've got people waiting with the pen and pencil, waiting to jot down what you say because they can say, oh, yeah, look at the, no. You give them the opportunity to say, I can't even put air between that. Right. Because it makes sense. I want to see my grandchildren never to have to go through this. I'm seeing my children go through it now. That breaks my heart. Yes. But what builds my heart is knowing that my kids are a part of something much bigger than themselves, and I see the changes starting to happen. Now we just need to add some prayer to that. Yes. Keep praying about it. Keep that prayer in there. And I make that my personal job to do that.
Well, thank you so much for your kind words, your inspiration, and I know this is going to fall on a lot of ears and influence them to do what's right. So thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks for having me. I'm just so grateful to you, Michael. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Break every chain.
Break every chain?
Break every chain.
Oh, there is power. That one?
Yes.
Okay, let's do that one. I'm going to start it with the preamble, and then you come in with me on Break Every Chain. All right. Okay?
I'm going to try.
You got to catch it.
I'm going to try.
Okay.
I'm going to catch it.
Okay. You'll know when it's time.
Okay.
My Redeemer has saved me from sin. My soul is awake and I live, free from what held me, free from what fought me mentally. He captured me in my mind. I am free in my heart. If I am yours, I am free. 'Cause there is power in the name of Jesus. There is power in the name of Jesus. There is power in the name of Jesus. To break every chain, break every chain, break every chain. Woo!
We're breaking chain. I caught
Yes.
it. I caught
You
it.
caught
I
it.
caught it. Catching it.
Catching it.